Hi, hello. How are you? I hope everyone is safe and uh, well. This is my third proper lesson video, proper Amharic lesson video. In my previous videos, I talked about the language, how the language works compared to English and French, the languages I know, and the alphabet and um, how you can learn Amharic fast. Um, and today I will be assuming that you have studied the alphabet, you can recognize, identify each letter and sound. I will introduce certain vocabularies of only two letter um, or only two sounds, with only two sounds. Um, And before I go to those list of words, um, just to give you what the background you see is a picture of um, Golden City in Colorado. The picture, I took the picture myself. It is in Colorado. The place is called Golden. It's a mountainous area, and enjoy the view. Having said that, let me just take you directly to the list of words I prepared. Actually, it is from my book. My book is available on Amazon.com. You just can search by name or by title. The title is here, Amharic for Foreigners and the Ethiopian Diaspora, from beginner to intermediate. So let's just uh, proceed with the two sound words or the two letters words. The first one is here in this column you have the pronunciation, and in the second column you have the Amharic word or the words in Amharic alphabet in Amharic letters or characters, and the third column is the meaning in English. So the first you see so, sa, wu, so, which means human, person, or man. Sa, wu, sa, wu. So if you go to the sa in the alphabet, you will find it in the first column. That's the base letter. And then if you go to the word, and then you will find this in the sixth order, the wu. So sa, wu. Once you studied, that's what I said in my previous video. Studying the alphabet in Amharic, in learning Amharic is the key. It's just almost like completing 30-40% of the learning, because you can read anything, you can write anything if you know the shape and the sound of every character or every letter in the alphabet. And then your job in the learning will be to study the vocabulary, have more words, and to study the grammar so you can use the vocabulary and to that way to build your learning, right? Okay, so, wu, so, person, sit, sit. It's not sit like the English sit. You say sit, sit, sit. Which means female or woman, feminine. Le Ji. Oh, sorry. Le Ji. Child. Um, Le Ji. Lij. Le Ji. I'm counting the letters so you can understand the pronunciation. Otherwise, we don't. When we normally speak, we don't say lj. We say lich, lich. Lich means child. Um, and next one here, eg, eg, edge, edge, hand. The next one, ras. Sometimes we write it or we say it ras. That's why I put the in parentheses. So ras, ras, or ras, 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 head, head. Feet, feet, feet. It's not feet like the English feet, feet. It's so close to the English feet that slightly different. You know, every language has its own way of pronouncing, and um, the tonation is different, and the stress is different. Well, all the linguistic, I mean, the phonetic and linguistic features are so different. So um, the Amharic doesn't sound like the English. Is feet is the English, but we say feet in Amharic. Feet means face, face. Jo, ro. They are very basic, I mean, common words, and at the same time easy to learn because they are only two sound or two letter words. So joro, 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 ear, joro, ear. Ho, d. We're right here. Ho, d, ho, d. Hod, hod. Stomach or belly. Doro, 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 doro. Hen, hen. Be, we're right here. Bet, 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 bet. House. Ber, ber. I'm reading the first one, and the pronunciation here is only for the first one. The second one is bir. I just put it to kind of show the relation, the association. You know, the only difference is this hyphen on the left. So the hyphen on the left makes the b. So here we say ber, ber, and the second one is bir, bir, bir. Ber, the first one is gate or door or any passage, like any passage that we pass through. But the latter one, I mean the second one, bir is um, Ethiopian currency. Bir, bir. Next one, let's move on. Tara, 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 roof. Um, what is after the slash is cornice, and again is just to show the relation or the association. This word is associated just for you to study the vocabulary. Cornice, but we will just leave this one for now. We're not focusing on that because it's just long to pronounce and to learn for you now. But it means the ceiling or the inside part of a roof or the ceiling is called cornice. Our next three words are very common and very frequent. So make sure that you remember these ones. You learn by heart. Our, 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 yes. Ao in Amharic is yes in English. Eshi, 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 eshi. Okay. Eshi is a word in Amharic which we use it almost um, several times a day, like the thank you and the please in English. We say ishi. We use ishi in our greetings. We use ishi in our conversation a lot of times, and it's just like the same thing. In okay is the same in English. We just say okay, okay, just 1,000 times. And the next most frequent word is I. 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 The pronunciation is almost the same as the English pronunciation for I. So I, and so having an exact sound in English in your language um, helps you to associate it and learn it so easily. Association in language learning is very helpful. So I, not the English I, the body parts that we used to look at or watch or see things, um, but this one the meaning is no, very uh, different, very unrelated. Um, so the three words I repeat: Ao, yes; Ishi, okay; I, no. Remember, Ao, Ishi, I, and let's move on to the next. To the next other words. La ba, la ba, la ba, la ba, la ba. Not the French là-bas there. Again, if you have a if you are a French speaker, it sounds exactly the same as your um, uh, exactly as your words. As a phrase in your language, which means there is là-bas, there over there. But laba is the part of the bird's body which is feather, 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 lava. Wolf, the one after the slash is the one after the slash is wolf, wolf, which means dirt, dirt. Next, Mary, 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 Mary. What I put in after the slash is Mary, which to show that is something else, and learning or teaching Amharic using transliteration or phonetic representation like this one is really confusing because people can read this one or can pronounce this one as Mary or Mary. You see, Mary. It's just open for any kind of the English here. Mary. People can mispronounce this as Mary or Mary, but learning the alphabet, the English, the Amharic alphabet, helps you to learn and pronounce words originally. It just avoids the confusion, and that's why I insist on having my students first study first the alphabet, because once they studied the alphabet and once they knew the shape and the sound of each letter in the alphabet, then they have already paved their way for learning Amharic so easily, and they just will sound original. They will not be misguided or mislaid by the phonetic representation of the sounds of the Amharic sounds in English letters. Like this is a typical example. We're talking about the word Mary, but if we write that word in English phonetic, in English letters like this, we may mispronounce as Mary, Mary, which is wrong or which is a different word. Actually, we don't have Mary in Amharic. It's not a word in Amharic. So that's why I put this one here, so it can remind me uh, when I teach and so that I can explain all this. So back to the word Mary. Mary means wheel on your vehicle, guide, a tour guide, for example, or a guide document, or a leader. A leader is Mary. So it's a multi-sensual or multi-meaning word, Mary in Amharic. Um, the next one, nib, 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 nib. Nib is the insect that produces honey. So because nib and honey are just like two sides of the coin, I mean, they are very much related. So it's good to learn the other two letter or two sound word, mar. So nib makes mar. Nib makes mar. Like bee makes honey. So nib nib is bee, the insect bee, and mar is honey. When you say mare, the third word here I have is mare, mare. When you say mare, you're saying my love, my honey, um, my sweet. And next one, hulu, hulu. Um, hulu means all. So here, huluso is an example. It's not part of the word actually. It's an example. Huluso, like all people, all people. Um, huluso, all people. And the next word, bella or bella, bella or bella. So bella is one word conjugated from the verb meblat. Uh, bella, he ate. Bella is another conjugated form of the word, the verb meblat. So bela is you eat. So there are two different words, but I put them here because they are both are from one verb meblat, and both are two um, excuse me two sound or two letter words. And another tata, 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 which means he drank, in a sense that it is used in the context of a third person usage. Like if you are talking about he drank, then you say tata, su tata. And if you are uh, saying you drink, and tata, an imperative second person sentence, you drink, and ta. So this can also be used in different ways, but depending on contexts. And the next verb, the next word, two sound or two letter word is metta. And the one, the letter after the slash is a gender marker, a feminine marker. So if you say metach, it will be she came. But only the first two letters, the first two sounds, meta, is he came. The same thing to here. The opposite of he came is he went. So ሄደች, I mean ሄደ, 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 ሄደ. Um, ነዳ, ነዳ, he drives. ነዳ, he drives. This one, the ሄደ is from the verb መሄድ, and ነዳ is from the verb መንዳት, and meta here is from the verb መምጣት, and tata up here is from the verb to drink, መጠጣት, መጠጣት. So same way, ቀረ from the verb መቅረት, ቀረ. ራቀ from the verb መራቅ, ራቀ, he went further, or he distanced himself. And ሻረ from he cancelled or dismissed, ሻረ from the verb መሻር. It also has another meaning but let's just not complicate for now, talking about meanings. That will be something else for our upcoming lessons. So here we have a list of some two-letter or two-sound words, and once you study these, next lesson, next lesson will be about first. The pronouns. Sorry, I just want to introduce the pronouns: the first person, second person, third person, and all those. And then we start once we have a few words and we have the pronouns, and then we will go to making short sentences and dialogues. And that way, we progress in our Amharic lesson. And before I go, just now, let me just add one more thing, which is kind of precursor for our next lesson. Next lesson will be demonstrative, personal pronouns, but this time let me just quickly take you to demonstrative pronouns here. So the demonstrative pronouns are ይህ, which means this, masculine, and ይቺ, this, feminine. ያ, that, masculine. ያቺ, that, feminine. እነዚህ, these, for both genders. እነዚያ, those, for both genders again, masculine, feminine, or both. እነሱ is those again. And an example here, you have ያ ቤት, that house. ይህ ዓመት, this year. ያቺ ልጅ, that girl. ይህ ልጅ, this boy. Or I said ልጅ is child in earlier when I talked about the two word letters, but when you have the adjective that specifies, ልጅ is general. Doesn't tell whether masculine or feminine, a boy or a girl. But when you have the adjective, when you have the feminine adjective, then you can say a girl. And when you have a masculine adjective, you can say a boy for the word ልጅ. እነዚያ መኪኖች, those cars. ያ ኳስ, that ball. እነዚያ ሰዎች, You see this, now we came to the plural. So I said earlier, so is person. So the plural form is which. We'll talk about pluralization. Ya saat, that watch or clock. Ya saat. So let me just quickly show you writing how you write all this in Amharic. Let me just give you the Amharic writing here. Um, because you're studying the alphabet. This lesson was prepared for one who just purely who wanted to learn purely based on the Amharic, I mean the English writing. He just wanted to learn the pronunciation, I mean the spoken part of the language. But you can't separate the language skills. You can't say, I just want to speak, but not read and write, because one skill complements the other. So when you start from the alphabet, the reading helps you, your speaking, and the writing also helps your listening, and the listening helps your writing. It's all connected, and that way it makes so productive. So yih, let me just put you yih, and it means this. So the pronoun yih, I can put that here. Um, Give me a second. And okay, I just wanted this. Okay, yichi, yich, or yichi. It just the h may be yichi. The h may be um, at some in some instances be softened or give me a second. Let me just move this one, and yes, to just get yes, there you go. That's what I want. And here, yeah, and here, yachi. This is how you write it, and I will put this one here. Um, yeah, and I just want to be related. Um, okay, let's just leave that for a while. And ya bit, you can say here, ya bit. And you can say here, yih amet. And yichi lich. Yichi lich. And yih lich. Yih lich. And then in Nazia, Nazia Mekinoch. You can write, well, I think this will be too long for you now to go writing the Nazia Mekinoch, and because it has pluralization, all those. But just because I assume that you studied Amharic, I mean the alphabet, I I assume that you studied the alphabet and you can understand, you can start, I mean, study reading the Amharic. Uh, and this way, once you studied the alphabet, and then we keep using the Amharic, and then as we progressed, the instruction will also be changed from English into Amharic. Like I would say እንደምን ዋላችሁ እንደምን አደራችሁ የዛሬ ትምህርታችን ስለ ተውላጠ ስሞች ይሆናል. You see, I'm saying good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Today's lesson will be about pronouns. So the instruction, the medium of instruction will also change into Amharic as we progressed. But for now, I keep using English as the medium of instruction because the level of Amharic you have is just almost none. So once you finished studying the alphabet, as I said, repeatedly, the alphabet is the key, and then we introduce more words, more Amharic structure, and more Amharic vocabulary, and then we can gradually shift to using Amharic even as a medium of instruction. Very good. I hope everything is I said so far is clear. And if you have questions, please don't hesitate to ask me. Write your questions down in the comment below, and I will include them in my lessons, in my upcoming lessons. I will answer your questions, and also don't feel um, don't hesitate or feel free to comment the way you like me to prepare the lessons, and with this way we go together, and you will learn Amharic so quickly. Thank you so much, and see you with my next video.